Do you have a good day trading strategy? Well, I want to share with you how to tell if that's the case. Because yes, as a beginner trader, I assume that it's the obvious when I say, hey, if you want to have success as a day trader, as a swing trader, you need to have a good strategy. I assume, like I said, you know that. However, those are just words. That's just something that sounds good. But how do you actually determine, how do you actually know if you have a good strategy? Whether that's day trading or swing trading. And I love this quote here because it gets to the core of what a lot of beginners miss, myself included when I first got started in the stock market. But you get what you focus on. And oftentimes, people are not focused on the right thing. And it's common sense why. It's logical why this is the case. However, as I've said in a million videos and will continue to say, that's why trading is so hard, because a lot of times what's obvious is actually the wrong thing to be focusing on. But you're going to get what you focus on. So I want to show you what you should actually be focused on, but also give you a secondary viewpoint of it, because you also have to assign a time element, right? If you focus on something for way too long, then it becomes a waste of your time. If you don't focus on it enough, well, then now you're not giving yourself an honest analysis of the strategy. So, I mean, there's a very fine balance there from the time element, but it all goes back to time element of what? Well, focus. You want to make sure that you focus on it enough, but you want to make sure that you're not focusing on it too much. So let's get right to it on how to tell if you have a good strategy. So what you see here on the screen are some of my results for actually, as of the recording of this video, the previous week. And it's 5 days. The highlighted column there is what matters, because that's the column after fees and commissions have been factored in. But that's what I want to focus on. And the number one thing that I would encourage you from a time balance perspective is you've got to look at your strategy. You've got to look at its results in 5-day sets. Because what you don't want to see is, oh, I made one trade and hey, it was a winner, therefore I have a great strategy, right? That would be silly. Just as silly as it would be if you have one trade and it's a loser. It would be silly for you to say, well, I don't have a good strategy. Really? Because you took one trade and it happened to be a loser? No, I would recommend, and maybe someone would disagree, but in my mind, I think it's a great view of things to look at data in 5-day sets. Because at the core, remember, day trading, swing trading, this is something that needs to be treated seriously. If you want to do this long term, you do have to treat it like a business. You have to make sure that you have structure. You have to make sure that you're treating things in a manner that's going to set you up for a realistic view at things. And it would be very unrealistic for you to think and go to a normal job, for example, and expect to get a paycheck every single day, right? That would be kind of goofy. Like showing up and getting a paycheck every day. When do most people get a paycheck? Usually at the end of a week. Maybe you get twice of them, so bi-weekly. But the point here being is you can't look at trading either, or look at a strategy as, okay, every single day. So that's where I'm going to the next layer. And I would argue that just looking at a single day is also not enough, because you would never go into a job and think that you're going to get a paycheck every single day. So you shouldn't go into trading and look at one day and say, oh, geez, it was a green day. Okay, I got a good strategy. Or, oh, look, it was a red day. Oh, my strategy is bad. Really? Because just one day, but you expand this out to 5, you expand it out to just 1 week, that's going to give you a much clearer view of what your strategy actually is looking like. So that's the time element. You got to give yourself at least 1 week. Number 2, where is red? Now, I alluded to this at the beginning of the video when I said a lot of people are paying attention to the wrong things, and it makes sense why, but it is common sense and it's logical to say, I want to see wins. I want to see green. If I'm making money, then that's great. I want to see green. I need to be making money. And yes, that is all true. However, the problem becomes, and for those of you that have experience, I'm sure you've been where I've been before, where you do have a green day and a green day and a green day, which is where 5 days is just the baseline. Because if after your first 5 days, it's all green, okay, I'm not saying that you don't have a good strategy. I'm just saying that really doesn't prove anything, because you need to first see some red within your strategy. And if red shows up, and again, I've been here and maybe you've been here, but maybe you have, 5, 6, 7 green days, and then one red day shows up and poof, all your green days are gone. Maybe the majority of your green days are gone. So think about it. At that point, do you have a good strategy? Now maybe you do, but I would say that would be a big warning flag that it's not quite perfected. So what you need to actually be most concerned with when trying to figure out if you have a good day trading strategy is, well, where's the red at? What happens when I actually have a red day? And if you're answering that question, well, geez, yeah, a red day completely demolishes all my green days. Well, then you probably don't have a good strategy. You probably still have work to do. But this is where I want to just go through my results so we can take this a little bit from the world of theory into the world of, practicality. But here is the, my, like I said, past week as of this video. And you can see that of 5 days, 3 of them were red. So let's think about this. Now, on the surface, you may say, geez, Clay, that's not a good trading strategy. I mean, literally 60% of your days were red. And okay, that's fair. But okay, but let's look at, well, where's the red? Look at the red itself. And here, okay, loss of $6.50, loss of $310, loss of $38. Okay, so you got it. So, but the question, okay, well, yeah, you had some red, but what were the green at? How did that balance? Green of $503, green of $620. So think about it. My strategy, which was a rough week. So, I mean, I'm not trying to sit here and say that, oh, this was a fantastic week. All I'm saying is that from a strategy perspective, if you can sit there and be like, yeah, you know what? My strategy gave me 3 red days, yet I was still up green on the week. Then you know what? I can't sit here and say for sure that means you have a good strategy, but it's certainly telling you that you must be managing risk. You must be controlling losers. You must be admitting you're wrong and not going into one of these diamond hands. Oh, no. Hold and hope. Oh, you can't sell you can't lose unless you sell. Yeah, that's not trading. Sure, that can put together a little bit of a green streak, but then it all takes is one. So when you ask the question, where's the red? And all that green is gone. But if you can sit there and look and say, I had red, but you know what? I'm still green. No, it's okay if you have a red week, but that's where, okay, let's look at multiple weeks, right? So chunks of 5, that data set of 5. If you have 5 or if you have 3 weeks, for example, and you're just barely red, okay, I would say that your strategy is on its way. It would need some, clarifications, but it's still not a train wreck. Now, of course, if you have 3 weeks and all 3 weeks are red and they're all huge red, well, then I think that would be glaringly obvious. But at the core, you always got to be wondering, where's the red? Where's the red? And who knows, maybe you're saying, like, what are you talking about? I'm on like a 2-month win streak. I haven't had any red. Okay, I'm still not willing to I'm not willing to say that you have a good strategy. Let's see what happens when red shows up, because is it going to be a situation where the one red thing wipes everything away? Maybe not. If it's not, and you get a couple more reds and you're still plenty green, well then, hey, fantastic. You just have a super, super high win rate strategy, yet those red days aren't going to be wiping everything away. But I mean, you sit here, and that's why I wanted to just show these results, because they're truly nothing to brag about from a monetary perspective, right? I mean, I didn't even, that doesn't even add up to $1,000 in a week. But again, I'm not here to try to brag about some sort of monetary. I'm here to show you that, think about it. It's possible to literally have 3 out of 5 red days, yet still be up. I probably should have done the math beforehand, but yeah, I was still up over $500, which I'm very happy with considering it was a bad week, right? I usually don't have 3 out of 5 red days, but it does happen. But I'm happy to know, and I'm happy to report that when you're managing risk, and this is why I'm always hammering home on this channel, manage risk, because you can go through these weeks where it's certainly nothing to brag about, but at least I'm still green. I'm still up over $500 for a bad week. So how do you have a good strategy? Again, that's what I would look at it. Look at it in 5-day sets, just like a normal job. Look at it per week. And assuming that it could be obvious just from there. But you don't want to get, you don't want to give yourself, not enough focus, right? Going back to that quote. If all you give yourself is 1 or 2 days, that's not enough focus. You're not giving yourself enough credit. But if you're, going and it's been, 4, 5, 6 weeks, all right, now that's probably too much focus, and you're going to need to start to change things up. But the best way to figure this out is to use those 2 principles. Don't undercut yourself, so make sure you're giving it at least the strategy, at least 5 days, and then wait for red. And hey, you know what? If red doesn't show up until week 3, 4, or 5, then I hope that red doesn't wipe everything out. But you can't sit there and say that you have a good strategy until some red starts to show up, because that's going to be where you prove to yourself that you're able to manage risk and you're able to control those things that actually matter most. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this kind of gives you a little bit of a quick tip in terms of how you should be judging, how you should be gauging, just how to tell, do I have a good strategy? Is this luck? Is this truly as bad as it seems? Well, use these 2 tips And that'll start to really narrow things down and, give you an idea of whether you should keep pushing forward with a strategy or maybe you should hit the pause button and reassess the situation. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this opens your eyes. If you have any other sort of, questions or suggestions for videos like this, then by all means, please let me know. But just realize that you don't have to win the majority of the time in order to still be making money. If you have a good strategy, then you can weather some little miniature storms and still come out ahead. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only one losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.